Welcome, educators, to the first session of International AI, Python, and Robotics Educators Bootcamp. I hope you all are doing good, and I hope you all are sound and safe. Good evening, Shobi. Good evening, Isha. I Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who have joined us from all around the globe. We will be starting our session shortly. Till the time, I request all of you to please download the latest version of PictoBlox in your laptop and your PC by scanning the QR code or by the link that is in the description box. So I request all of you, as PictoBlox, the coding platform, is a prerequisite for today's and the upcoming session. So I request all of you to please download it in your laptop and your PC. By the time we start the session, I also request all of you to please scan the QR code and fill the survey form, the pre-survey form. So both the QR codes are available on your screen. I request all of you to scan them and do the needful. Good afternoon. Good afternoon from South Africa. So we will be starting the session at 4 p.m. Indian Standard Time, which is in another 6 minutes. So by that time, I request all of you to please download the latest version of PictoBlox and fill out the pre-survey form. Hi, Paulo from Lisbon. Good evening, good afternoon to all of you who have joined us. With me, I also have my colleague, Ms. Shruti. Hi, Shruti. Thanks for joining.
Hi, Vivek. Good evening to all of you. Good morning, good afternoon. Greetings from the STEMpedia team. I have seen people are joining from all around the globe.
Yes, I can see the live chat full of good afternoon and good evening from various countries.
As Vivek mentioned, I would request you, all of you, to please fill the survey form, which is the prerequisite, as already mentioned over there. We are also requesting you, all of you, to install PictoBlox application. QR code is already mentioned on the screen. Scan it and download it.
With the QR code, you will be also able to get the links in the chat box as well as in the description box. So request all of you to please download the PictoBlox application and fill out the pre-survey form.
These prerequisites are very essential, as Vivek mentioned. Don't forget to skip any of them. You have to download the PictoBlox application by scanning the QR code in front of you, and please fill out the pre-survey form. Yes, we will be sharing all the details in the session. Please stay tuned with us. We'll be talking about certificates, badges, all of the stuff which you have seen in the website. We'll be sharing all these details for sure.
And don't worry, educators, we will be giving you a walkthrough to the entire learning management system, the online course that you have enrolled into. So stay tuned, watch the entire session, and enjoy the learning. So 3 more minutes left, and then we will be going live and starting the first session of International Educators Bootcamp. By the time, once again, I request all of you to please download the latest version of PictoBlox in your laptop and PC and fill out the survey form by scanning the QR codes given here on your screen.
People are so excited, Vivek, I must say.
Yes.
This is totally visible on the chat box.
I'm happy to see a lot of good afternoons and good evenings from a lot of countries. People are asking, how can we get the recording? The recording will be on the same link, and we will be sharing all of the updates in the WhatsApp and Telegram group. You can join the WhatsApp and Telegram group given by clicking on the links that are given in the description box.
Tubraji, you have to download the PictoBlox by scanning the QR code. PictoBlox is mentioned on the QR code also in front of your screen. Just scan it and download it. We have also shared the link over the chat box so you can download it from there itself.
Plus, all of the links are there in the description box also.
No problem. You all can watch this session live from the YouTube over your phone as well. But whatever the activities we will be performing during the session, you have to do it over your laptop or your PC. So for doing the assignments, for submitting the prototypes, you have to use the PictoBlox with your laptop or your PC.
Right. So I guess, Ms. Shruti, this is a good time for the commencement of the International Educator Bootcamp. Handing over to you.
Thank you so much, Vivek. Okay. So hello everyone, greetings from STEMpedia. I am Shruti Khare, Education Program Manager from STEMpedia, welcoming you all to this International Educators Bootcamp. We hope that you all are doing great and are excited to start this International Coding AI Python Robotics Bootcamp. This special bootcamp is for teachers, educators, and STEM trainers from all around the globe. We have been conducting this bootcamp from past 2 years, in which we have empowered 15,000 plus educators from 80 plus countries. And now, this year, 2023, we are organizing the third edition of the bootcamp. We are really glad that today our experts, Mr. Pankaj Verma and Professor Shashi Kumar, joined us here to share their expertise about AI, coding, and robotics in education. We want to say a big thank you to both of them for joining us. Before we dive into the action packed agenda that awaits us, let's take a moment to understand the objectives that lie at the heart of this bootcamp. You see, this isn't just any ordinary gathering, it's a dynamic learning experience carefully designed to help us achieve some key goals. Our first objective is to empower the educators by strengthening their understanding of coding, artificial intelligence, and robotics by enhancing 21st century skills. Secondly, we are providing an experience of hands on learning to all our educators on these latest technologies. Moreover, we are making each and every educator here confident enough to discuss these skills with their students by enhancing their technical skills. We are also providing an exposure to all the educators to be an ambassador of Python and AI learning. Our supporters who have been supporting throughout this bootcamp from the past 2 years and this year also, they are supporting us. Let's have let's have them on the screen. We have our supporters we have in this bootcamp journey from India. We would like to thank you all of them who are engaging their educators with us. So we have Art Park, All India Educators Forum, American India Foundation, SRF Foundation, Bharti Foundation, GUSEC, Learn Hill, Tata Classage, Invented Education, EDEC. Thank you everyone for your support. Leadership for Equity, Learning Link Foundation, Atal Innovation Mission Niti Aayog is one of them who have been supporting us throughout this bootcamp, and we will expect their support in the coming years as well. Thank you so much for all our supporters. We have our international supporters also with us. We would like to thank you, our international supporters as well, who are with us. CKBS Ghana, AI Zazari Algeria, Nima Academy Nepal, Pratasi Junior Indonesia, Really EduTech South Korea, Code Kiddo Indonesia, Shaguf Egypt, Unique World Robotics UAE, BSEC Nigeria, ZTech Foundation Nigeria, IoT Kids Iraq, Edu Store South Africa, SMJK KT HWA Malaysia, EdTech UK, EDM Edgar Singapore, Robotona Jordan. Thank you to all our supporters and our collaborators for supporting us through this bootcamp by engaging your educators with us. Thank you so very much. Now, moving ahead, I would like to take a moment to introduce our experts who have joined us today. It is with the great pleasure that we gather here today for a session of profound insights. We are honored to welcome Professor Shashi Kumar Ganesan, who is the Chair Department of Computational and Data Science, IISc Bangalore. He is also a founder and director of Zentic EdTech Private Limited. We are honored to have you here, sir, with us. Along with Professor Shashi Kumar, we have our very own Mr. Pankaj Kumar Verma with us, one of the co-founders who envisioned the field of robotics and AI in the form of Quarky and PictoBlox. He is also a Chief Technical Officer of STEMpedia. Our experts have been contributing significantly to the advancement and propagation of these critical disciplines. Now, I would like to call upon Professor Shashi to share his expertise and his journey with us to motivate our educators to learn 21st century skills. Professor Shashi, over to you.
Okay, could you please enable me to share the screen?
Yeah, sure.
Done, sir.
Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, just add floating control. Okay. Good evening to all. Good morning to all. Good afternoon. It all depends on the region where you are. As she mentioned, I'm Shashi Kumar, faculty in the Department of Computational Data Sciences at IISc Bangalore. Though I come from the higher educational institution, of course, everyone would not have come to higher education institution without passing the schooling. So I have the right background also to talk about it. As she mentioned, right, today I will be briefly discussing, of course, 10 to 12 minutes about the integration of AI in school education. So when you talk about the AI in school education, of course, AI is everywhere, and then now everyone talk about the ChatGPT and so on. So it's up to the educators to get involved, and also the more than that, it's are we using it in a legitimate and as well as in the ethical way, right? These are the things one should take into consideration. So before going there, that's the three topic. First, I will be talking about what are the current challenges or problems in our educational system, especially in the schooling system. Though I will be more confined or biased towards the Indian educational system, but I know that only the curve, the distribution varies, right? Whereas the problem remains the same across the globe. And also next, I will be talking about the roles of AI, how the artificial intelligence can be used in education. And also we can see that how some of these problems can be addressed using the AI. And more than that, right, when we take any new technology into the production, right, there could definitely be a challenge, many challenges, in fact. And the question is, how can we tackle it? I'm just going to throw away. I'm not going to provide the solution. Of course, the solution you're going to get it most like in the next 2 weeks where you complete your boot camp, right? So with this, right, so let us jump into that. But before jump in, that's my background, what I'm going to talk about. And also I thank the STEMpedia for providing me this opportunity to share my views with the global educators. So to start with, what is the problem? So I have listed on 4 different problems. Of course, there are many more problems, or you can also challenges. To me, the primary problem or the primary challenge is the educational inequality. So when I talk about the educational inequality, the primary concern for me is the access to the quality education. When I talk about the not only access to the education, even access to the quality education is very important. In modern day, right, if you consider the present day scenarios, there are many challenges in terms of accessing the good educational content. It all depends on the region where you're coming from, or it also depends on which background you are from. It depends on the geography, it depends on the race, or even some countries, right, it also depends on the gender, right? So some genders are not really getting the right I would say that equal opportunities to get the quality education, right, and as well as the education as well. So access to the education is the primary concern to me, right, that must be solved. Of course, we have to think about, right, how this technology can be leveraged, especially the AI can be leveraged to crack this issue, right? How can we take this education and quality education, right, to each and every part of the country and part of the city, right, or even the town, village, right, to make sure that everyone gets the equal and unbiased opportunity. The second challenge, right, in terms of the inequality, again, the resource allocation. When you talk about the resource allocation, varies from the country to country, and even within the country, right, varies from the region to region, state to the state, right. So it all depends on that, how we can eliminate that. Of course, again, I would say that we should really utilize this AI technology and make sure that this disadvantage can be eliminated. And in particular, right, access to the skilled teachers, right? When we have the technology to scale it up and deliver the content, quality content to 100 to 1,000 to million, we should utilize this technology to make sure that we are eliminating this resource deficiency or the resource disadvantages in terms of the economics. So this is the inequality that really we need to address through AI. And the second issue is, okay, now from that inequality of the access and the infrastructure, then we will move on to the curriculum issues. Again, when you talk about the curriculum, so standardization is must. Of course, I'm not saying that, okay, we should follow only one board. For instance, in India, we have 5 different boards, and the standards of 5 different boards are 5, maybe the 6 different boards, including the state board and other thing. The standards are completely different, especially when you're having more and many vernacular languages, then you will be having even more challenges for the students of one board to move on to the other board. And in terms of the level of the curriculum, testing, assignment, right, assessment, right, it varies. So at least there should be a standardization, need not be the same, but standardization must be brought in, and that should be brought in again through the technology, making sure that at least the certain levels of standards are maintained in all boards across. And also sometimes we depends on the class curriculum, right? When you talk about the outdated content, I'm not talking about just only the curriculum. Curriculum could be like the latest, but unless otherwise the teachers or the educators or even the boards are adapting to this new curriculum, new syllabus, new content delivery, then still I feel that it's an outdated content or outdated curriculum. So unless otherwise the delivery also, right, modernized, still I would call this an outdated content. Again, if you look at all these problems that I have listed, definitely AI can be brought in. And more than that, right, apart from the curriculum, let us move on to the students' perspective. Mental health and well-being is one of the most primary concern, especially in the era of a digital world or a digital era or AI era. for me, the reason is, right, in terms of the competition or in the name of competition, I believe that if we are putting our children, our young minds into the more and more stress. Of course, it varies from the country to country, but I can talk about the country in India, right? In India, unfortunately, we are putting our 1.2, 1.3 million kids, right, every year, right? Those are, I'm talking about those who are writing only the IIT JEE, that is the IIT is the premier institutions or the group of institutions where everyone aspiring to be a part of it. So we are putting like 1.3 million students every year, put together, right, the two batches, right? So 2.6 million. But unfortunately, this trend is even taking worse. We are talking about like starting from the 8th class onwards, putting into the coaching classes, right? So several institutions, even though they call it in the name of schools, but they really like the coaching factories or coaching industries. So that puts these kind of things put our young minds into a lot of stress, and that should also be taken care. That is where the AI-enabled system, right, able to understand the student's background, the student's mindset, and definitely we need an AI-enabled health, mental health monitoring system, and so on. And then at the end, right, when you talk about the technology integration, when we adapt all these technologies into the schools, of course, there will be a digital divide that also needed. Not everyone is going to have the mobile or gadgets, right, 4G or 5G or 3G. So there will be an digital divide issues also that also need to be undertaken and also need to be carefully considered when we bring the technology, making sure that we are making the digital divide even worse or the accessibility even worse, right? So we have to make sure that, and also the ineffective implementation will lead to even more problems that we should be very careful. Of course, there are other challenges. For example, the teachers are facing, a lot of educators are facing a lot of the challenges getting the right content or even the right accessing the background of the students and so on. So it's going to be the very challenging, right? And also the educators for the specially need children, right? Everywhere, right? A lot of the challenges. I believe that we can bring in this technology or tailor-made technology to address some of the challenges. So how the existing solutions work? For example, the existing solution, we are trying to fit all problems into the one box, or we are trying to have like a one size for all approach. That approach is the biggest challenge because we do not have a personalized education. We do not have the content is aligned, tailor-made for the capacity of the students, for the interest of the students. So right now, what we are doing, most of the institutions is like the one size fits for all approach. This is should be changed. Of course, it's not only the problem or challenges for the students. I'm talking about the educators and even for the management, right? A lot of challenges that needs to be addressed using this technology. And the question is, can the AI address these problems? In my view, it is not the solution, but I would say the way forward to start solving the problems one by one. And when you talk about the AI or the technology, I'm not talking about the digital solutions where we talk about the hundreds and thousands of coaching factories. And we should build all these institutions, all these training centers, or even the educational organization should keep in mind the students' perspective and educators' point of view. We should involve the stakeholders. For me, the stakeholders of these type of organization are the teachers and the students, right? Then only the business and the organizations comes into the picture. So in the last 5 minutes, to wrap up, right? I'm just going to throw away the roles of education. Of course, the first thing is I want to see a personalized education, right? When the students start to learn, we should capture the data and understand their students' need, and then accordingly it should be built. And the curriculums and the content should be recommended based on the skill gap rather than having the one solution for all. And also we need to have an intelligent tutoring system, where I mean that again, the personalized guidance based on this individual needs, right? Every learner is different. We need to have like an intelligent tutoring system, augmented curriculum, right? Curriculum need not be uniform, right? That is where if I look at all these aspects, right? This is where the new education policy in India, the brain behind the new education policy is to adapt, to accommodate all these ideas, right? In the AI technologies. And it should also be like a data-driven insights, right? Get the performance rather than the rote memory checking or rote memorization. So trying to get the students understanding, right, the performance, right, whether the gaps are getting filled, as skill gaps are getting filled, and they encourage collaborative learning using the technology and also the teacher skill prediction, because we do not want to produce all class students as an engineers, or all students or as a doctors or any other particular profession, trying to understand or try to predict the future skills of the particular one. Of course, there are many, we can keep on going, right, upskilling, reskilling, and so on. And just to close, there are challenges as well. These are the opportunities. Of course, many more I can list it down. Even for 1 hour, we can talk about it. But again, when I come back to the third stage of challenges, the first thing is like if you're trying to capture the students' activities and maybe to a certain extent parents' behavior as well. So we should be very, very careful when you're trying to build an AI system for the education. So especially the data privacy and the security, we have to be very much careful and very much keep in mind. And also the bias and fairness. That's most important thing, right? When you talk about the AI, it's all about the machine learning model. The machine learning model learns what the data training data set that you supply. But if you don't supply the right training data set, right, in the sense, distributive and representative enough data set to the training as a training data set, obviously our machine learning on the AI system will be of bias. So we have to be very, very careful in terms of the bias and fairness, ethical considerations, and teacher training. This is also most important thing. This is what exactly the bootcamp we are going to do there. These guys are into it and really appreciate their initiatives, right? So teachers also should be adapted to the new technologies. When you talk about the chat GPT, right, the students are copying, that's fine. Allow the student to explore, commit mistake, and then come back and tell that how one should use ethically. Teach them how to use and how not to use, rather than just blocking them to use. That's my approach. And the equity and then access, right? And so all these things are very important. Just to conclude, yes, integrating AI in school education, I would say it's the way forward to address or to start address all these problems. But as I mentioned before, right, we have to involve the stakeholders. The student should be the primary stakeholder, teachers, the educators, and then the educational institution. Then comes the boards, and the last comes the government, right? So we should keep this order in mind to build any AI education system. And just involving data scientists is not enough. And I would say that data scientists more tend to care about how to solve the ML objective, how to produce or make my ML model more accurate. But here the ML model accuracy is immaterial unless otherwise I solve the real problem of the student. So the fact is many organizations, right? And if you go to the practically implemented AI organization, they don't care about the fancy AI ML metrics, but what is the return on investment? This is what important. For me, the return on investment of AI in education is how the well-being skill gap of the students are improved based on my implementation. This is what I will see is the success of AI in school education. So with this, I take this opportunity to thank once again for providing this platform to discuss the wide audience. And if anyone is interested to talk about in this direction, I'm happy to do that. As she mentioned, I'm into the higher education edtech sector, but maybe I will also happy to talk about the K-12 market and the schooling education as well. Please feel free to drop me an email if at all anything that you're finding interest on me. Thank you so much. I'll stop here.
Thank you very much. Thank you so very much, Prof, for sharing such a great insights on the advantages of the AI. You have shown the problems, and then you have stated the solutions as well on the same direction. And this, I surely believe that this will totally gonna help our educators to understand the actual need in the school curriculum and the system which they are currently in, and they will surely understand the future advantages as well. So thank you so very much. Now moving ahead, I would request Mr. Pankaj to share his thoughts on why these kind of bootcamp are really important for educators in this tech-driven world, and how STEMpedia is integrating technologies and bringing out the innovations and the initiatives from the perspective of STEMpedia. Over to you, Pankaj.
Thank you, Shruti, and thank you, Shashi sir, for enlightening our educators on the perspective of AI. I am like it's we have seen the pre-survey form as well, and what we have seen is that a lot of educators are new to these kind of I would say learnings. Whether it's related to AI, robotics, or even Python programming as well. So there is a lot of learning for the people, educators in the bootcamp as well. And your insight was very fruitful. So thank you for joining us and enlightening the educators.
You're most welcome, and I wish you all the best for all the educators to get it engaged fully for the next 2 weeks and go back with a lot of new ideas and implement it on your educational institutions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So I would start off from my journey for like I have been featured in a lot of previous boot camps, and a lot of new previous boot camp educators are also in this boot camp, so they would be knowing me. But I would just start off with my introduction that I am Pankaj. I and Drupal started STEMpedia 6 years ago, and we started off with the aim of creating an ecosystem where the students can learn about coding, AI, and robotics. And as a part of this journey, we have been able to create a very good ecosystem for the teachers and also for the students in order to impart these educations these topics to the students very easily. And as a part of it, we have developed a lot of I would say product in terms of software, hardware, and also in terms of teacher training modules as well. So I want to just go on brief telling you all of you about it so that you understand a general idea of what STEMpedia is doing and how we are impacting the world as well. So I will just share my screen. I hope you are able to see the screen. Yes. So we are an organization started by IIT Kanpur alumni 6 years ago. We have been supported by Art Park from IIC Bangalore, from Department of Science and Technology, IIC Bangalore, and also Government of Karnataka. So as a part of STEMpedia, we have a bigger mission of just a second.
Till the time, I would like to mention to all of the educators that the new WhatsApp group link is there in the live chat box. You can please click on that particular link and join the WhatsApp group. Thank you.
So I think I am having some trouble with the slide, so I will just cover it from the by just saying about the initiatives that we are running. So what for one of the development that we have done and been able to do a lot of improvements is our software PictoBlox, which we launched around 3 years ago, and then we had made it very much accessible for the teachers and students to use it on all the different platforms, whether it Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, or iOS as well. So PictoBlox was something which we created, and we provided all the people the free access of it as well, so that they are able to understand the concepts of coding using blocks, using Python, or even now we have the machine learning module as well, where the teachers and students can create the machine learning models very easily. And then the new things that we are bringing to PictoBlox is our XR environment, where the students and teachers can basically create the whole 3D models of their own, and then create physics simulation, or even create some controls like what we do in the 3D games, like I would say PUBG or any other Minecraft game as well. So that's a direction that where we are going to, where PictoBlox can be one-stop solution for all the creators to create their coding-based model, and then create and then share it with the peers, and show their learnings with the real life projects as well. And one of the very important thing in order to get this learning to the student is teachers. So if teachers are not there, then these learning cannot be passed on to the students. So that's why what we do is we do regular boot camps. Now from this boot camp, we would be starting regular boot camps as well. So this boot camp is majorly focused towards learning how you can basically program do programming with Python, and understanding the aspect of AI with Python, and also some part of robotics with Python. And then in the coming boot camps, we will be also launching boot camps on XR environment, or how to program augmented reality or virtual reality with PictoBlox. So those are the few boot camps that we will be bringing to all the educators as well. And one of the most important thing that we are coming up with the new edition of Codever, which is our coding AI and robotics competition that we do every year. Last year, we were very fortunate to get the love from the students and teachers, and we got around 1 lakh plus participants in the last year edition as well. So these are the initiatives that we are bringing in order to make the learning happen for the students, and make it easy for the teachers to impart the learning to students. So I think this is a very important time for teachers to understand that all these learnings also requires a lot of effort from your side. You have been learning and teaching for a very long time. So I would just say that this bootcamp would be very much, I would say, this bootcamp is designed in such a way that you are able to understand the basic concepts, and then build more more learning on top of it, and then impart to the students. So with that objective, I think Vivek and Shruti will be taking care of all of you in the next 2 weeks. And I hope all of you get to learn new things and share the things with the peers as educators as well, and ask more doubts, get the doubts cleared, and then impart all these education to the students as well. So that's a thing from my side and from STEMpedia, that you are able to take this to the students and impart more education or more tech-based education to the students as well.
Thank you so much, Pankaj, for sharing your valuable insights with us, and for motivating our educators to learn these 21st century skills. And we will surely gonna reach the expectations of our educators who are having the expectations with us with this bootcamp. So thank you very much for joining the expert session. And now I would like to move ahead with the session, which will be taken care by Mr. Vivek. So moving forward, I would like to call my colleague, Mr. Vivek, to take the session forward.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shruti. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible. Thank you.
Dear educators, let me take you on a tour on what we will be learning in the 10 days of the journey of this International Educators Bootcamp. On day 1, we will be going through PictoBlox Python basics like variables, data types, strings, lists, and with an interesting activity of loan interest calculator. On day 2, we will be going through the concepts of game development like loops, conditional statements, sprite functions, debugger, REPL mode, and more. And we will be completing day 2 with an amazing, fun, engaging activity of Maze Beetle Challenge. On session 3, on day 3, we will be learning about face detection and its functions by a real-time face detection activity to detect emotions. On day 4, we will be learning about the latest functionality of PictoBlox and the trendiest topic, ChatGPT. Plus, we will be making our own GPT assistant. Isn't that fun, right? I hope you all are very excited for this particular session and all the sessions that we will be having. And on day 5, we will be learning about human detection and its function by making a fun activity of Flappy Bird game. On 26th and 27th August, I request you to please note this, educators, that on 26th and 27th of August, we will not be going live on YouTube for fun, engaging learning sessions. Instead of that, we will be going live on Zoom for your doubt. So you can join us directly on the Zoom to get your doubts resolved on 26th and 27th of August. With that, we will be giving you time to get your queries resolved on the Saturday and the Sunday, that is 26th and 27th, and you will be having the time to complete your assignments and work on the ideation part of your capstone project. On day 6, we will be learning about natural language processing and its applications. Plus, we will be making an activity of sentiment analysis. On day 7, we will be learning about object detection and its applications. Object detection and its application. Plus, we will be making an activity of AI object seeker. On day 8, we will be learning about hand post classification in PictoBlox and its function by making a fun, engaging activity of gesture fruit hunt. On day 9, we will be introducing you to the basics of machine learning and its applications. And we will be making our own image classification model by making an activity of ML tumor tracker. On day 10, we will be introducing you to PictoBlox Python interface with robotics with the help of hardware. In that, we will be learning all about the self-driving cars, and we will be making one too. At the end of the bootcamp, we will be having the closing ceremony, where we will be talking about the upcoming opportunities for the educators and for the students. As Mr. Pankaj Verma mentioned, that educators, we will be coming up with regular boot camps for you all. And the upcoming boot camp will be on AR and VR technology. That will be the latest release of PictoBlox. Coming up, for the students, we will be having the golden opportunity of Codeva 5.0, the biggest global AI, coding, and robotics championship to foster creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship skills. But that's not all, dear educators. With the hands on the latest technological skills, you will be getting an opportunity to learn with educators all around the world, get AI and robotics teaching resources, earn badges and certificates, and also have a chance to become STEMpedia's ambassador. Plus, the top 10 performers will be rewarded with STEMpedia's AI and robotic kits, a key to learn the 21st century's technological skills in a fun and engaging way. So these are the perks of participating in the International Educators Bootcamp. Now, before moving ahead, I would like all of you to please scan the QR code or click on the link in the description box or in the live chat box to mark your attendance for this session. Dear educators, I want you to please take a note on this, that each day you have to fill the pre-session and the post-session form to mark your attendance to secure your participation certificate after the closing of this bootcamp. So I request all of you to take a moment to scan this QR code.
As Vivek mentioned, I would request you all to please scan this code. We will be also sharing the link in the comment section. You can refer that particular link to have this survey form, and you have to fill this survey form by right now. people are already filling this form, I would request you all, we are giving you 5 minutes time to fill this form as early as possible, and we will be moving ahead.
Right. So I request all of you to please scan the QR code, and the link is also there in the description box as well as the live chat box. So please click on it and mark your attendance. As I already mentioned, that once you fill the attendance and feedback form of each day, that is when you will be able to secure your participation certificate of this International Educators Bootcamp. So take a moment to fill this attendance pre-session survey form. And one more thing, the educators, I guess there is a doubt that is roaming around in the live chat box. The form that was shared via the message and in the starting of the bootcamp was a pre-survey form, but this is the attendance pre-session survey form. So both the forms are different. You have to fill this form to mark your attendance.
Please keep a note that this particular form is totally dedicated for this session, and you will be getting similarly 9 more forms in 9 future sessions as well. So you have to fill 9 attendance survey forms and the feedback survey forms to mark your attendance for all the sessions.
Right.
People are also asking the doubt in the comment section that how do we register our presence? So this is the only way to register your presence. So I would request you all to please fill out the form and mark your attendance by filling this form.
So I would request all of you to please take a moment. We are giving you a minute more to complete the form.
Thank you, Srabani, for asking this doubt that we have already filled the pre-survey form yesterday. Then also, shall I fill this particular form right now again? So this is not the same form, ma'am. This is the attendance form. That was the pre-survey form. You have to fill this form. This form is totally dedicated for this session. So I request you all to please scan it, and you can go through the comment section to have the link of this form, and please fill out this form as early as possible.
Yes. All right. So we are getting a lot of dones and already filled in from educators. That's a great news. If you are watching the live recorded session, then you can please head out to the description box and fill out the attendance form. Thank you. Moving ahead, let's begin today's session of Introduction to Python in PictoBlox application. So these are the topics that we will be discussing in this particular session. Python programming basics like variables and data types, lists, and string. With that, we will be making a fun activity of loan interest calculator. So all the educators, I request you to buckle up and be ready with your PictoBlox application to start the activity. Now, educators, starting with the first topic, I'm asking you what is programming, and you have to give your answers in your language in the chat box. So you have to define what programming is in your particular language in the chat box. So I want all the educators to put down their answers in the chat box. So I want you to please write down what do you think programming is in your own words. Set of instructions, right, Sanju ma'am? Sarbani ma'am says, way of giving instructions to a computer, correct. Set of instructions. Collection of statement to solve a task or problem. Very good, Bhupendra sir. LB says creating instructions, correct. Exactly. Programming is a set of instruction which is used to solve problems. Wow, a lot of definitions of programming are to be seen in the live chat box. I'm very excited. I'm very happy to see a lot of you putting what programming is in your own words in the live chat box. Superb. Well done, educators. What all you said is correct, that programming is providing instructions to a computer, giving commands to a machine, or creating a set of steps for a computer to follow. So these steps can be followed by the computer. These steps are to be given by us so that the computer can follow it and do the task that it is required to do or that it is asked to do. Additionally, programming also involves writing the code to direct the behavior of a computer system, coding the algorithms to solve problems, or developing scripts to automate the task. So these are my thoughts on what exactly programming is, aligning with your thoughts that you have shared in the live chat box. So all of you are correct that programming is just instructions, giving instructions to a machine to do a particular task. Perfect. Very well done, educators. All right. Moving ahead to the applications of programming. So now I would like you to mention few day-to-day applications of programming that you have seen around you in the live chat box. All of you are correct with the programming definition that yes, programming is basically just set of instructions. But now I want you all to put down the application, the real world application that you see day to day in the live chat box. Writing code in some language, mobile phone, correct? Mobile phone is one of the applications that we use every day, right, educators? Barcode reader, very nice. ATM, very good. Software, mobile applications, washing machine, attendance using QR code, ER shops, biometrics attendance, video games, internet, biometric, programming in traffic lights, very well done. Movie ticket booking, creating websites. Well done, educators. Well, you all are correct. So these are few of the applications that we see in our day-to-day life. You all must have seen the barcode scanner that is there in each and every shopping malls and shopping centers. Then we have the traffic lights that are automated via coding, via programming. Then we have the online booking systems that we have, the reservation systems for booking our movie tickets or buses or train tickets or flight tickets. Then, of course, web development is also one of the prominent applications of programming. Well, no one mentioned YouTube. YouTube also uses programming, right? Home automation, that's a very good example. So yes, I think all of you are aware about the applications of programming and what are the day-to-day applications that we use that includes programming. Moving forward, now all of you must be wondering why exactly Python and why we are using Python these days, why Python is in vogue these days. Why is it the most trendiest programming language? I hope this question is there in everyone's mind. Answering on the hope of this question, I would like to mention that Python is a versatile language. Python is a very versatile language, which is suitable to various applications. Whether I want to implement a particular set of code in my mobile phone or on my laptop or any other operating system, I can do that because Python language is very versatile. It can be implemented in any platform. It abstracts the complex task and allows the programmers like us to deliver what we want to give to the users. That is, we have to focus on the problem solving. We can focus on problem solving. We can focus on designing aspects also. So basically, Python, therefore, is one of the most favorite programming language and the programming language that is in vogue today because of its nature. Because it's versatile, it offers modules and functions, it is cross-platform that I've already mentioned, that it can be implemented on any operating system or any device. Then it also includes libraries and frameworks, which makes it more special because Python already has some inbuilt libraries and functions as well. And one more thing that I want to mention, side note, that is in PictoBlox, you will be getting the access to the libraries. You will be able to install your libraries. You will be getting the access to the debugger, REPL mode, and many more things. So isn't it exciting, guys? We will be going through it in the upcoming sessions as well. So correct. Therefore, Python is the most trendiest and hot programming language out there. Moving forward to Python in PictoBlox. Now, I want all of you to open the PictoBlox application in your device. Please take a moment to open PictoBlox application in your device. And you are correct, every one of you. There is a vast set of libraries in Python. It allows computer to perform specific tasks, easy to learn because it uses most of English keywords. Very good, Harsh. Data analysis is also there. ML environment is also there. Yes, a lot of things can be done with Python programming. There are no limitations with Python programming. That is what I personally think. So I request all of you to please open the PictoBlox application. All right. Once you open the PictoBlox application, you have to click on the Python interface that is over here. If I draw a line for you, this is what we have to click on. Once we click on Python, we have to click on the Go Ahead block. The Go Ahead button, we have to click on this particular button on the prompt box that will be there on your screen. So once you click on Go Ahead, it will open the PictoBlox Python interface for you. So ta-da! This is what the Python interface looks like. Once again, if I recall the steps, you have to click on Python at the top over here where my cursor is. Then you have to click on the Go Ahead button that will be there on the prompt box. And after that, this is what will pop up on your screen. Now, I want all of you to give me a thumbs up if you have opened the Python interface in PictoBlox successfully. Yes, we will wait. We are waiting for you. So once again, I will just repeat, open PictoBlox, go in, click on the Python interface and click on Go Ahead on the prompt box. If I show it to you again, Python and Go Ahead. So I want you to give me a thumbs up. Perfect. Nice. So I guess all of you have opened PictoBlox Python interface in your laptop or your PC. Just take a note that Python interface is not available in mobile application as of now. So you have to use your laptop or your PC to code the activity, to make your activities. You can watch the session on any of the device. You can watch sessions on your tablet or your mobile phone or your laptop, but you have to download the PictoBlox on your laptop or PC only. It can be Windows, it can be Linux, it can be Mac OS, it can be any device, any laptop, any operating system. All right. Now, I'm going to take you through the Python interface. This is the red marked area is the Python coding area. This is where you will be typing the whole code. This is where you will be giving the instructions to the computer, right? We talked about programming. This is where you will be giving instructions to the computer, instruction to the Toby sprite or any other sprite that you will be selecting to tell them what exactly they have to do. Over here, as you can see, we have the terminal. So terminal is basically where the execution of the code will be taking place. Now, I would like to tell you one thing. If you might be wondering, we have terminal plus stage here. So will the execution be there on both the areas in the terminal as well as the stage? The answer is it depends on the code. So if you are coding something that basically just is a Python code that is not calling the sprite to do something, that is when the execution of the code will be taking place in the terminal. But if you are, if you are coding something that you want the sprite to do, that is what will be executed here. So if I just give you one example of the same, I can write print hello world. Now, if I click on run, it is printed over here. So don't worry about the warnings. It is there in my system because I have the pre-released version of the PictoBlox. So I request you to please do not focus on the warnings. You will not get any warnings on your PC. So you can see the hello world is printed in the terminal, but not on the stage. But now, if I say sprite.save hello world and click on run again, that is when you will be able to see the sprite is saying hello world. So you can see the sprite is saying hello world. Once again, I would like you to ignore the warnings that are coming up. That won't be there in the latest version of the PictoBlox that is released. So this is what the difference between the terminal and the stage is. With that, I will be now coming to the difference between run and run all button. So basically, run button executes the selected project file. So you can see there are two project files, the stage and Toby. But if I just add one more sprite, that particular sprite's project file will be added in my project files over here. Now, if I click on run, the code that is there in that particular selected project file will be executed. But if I click on run all of the project files that are there in the project folder will be executed. So that is the difference between run and run all. Run will be executing a particular selected project file. Run all will be executing the all of the project files that are there in your project. So I hope the PictoBlox Python interface is clear to all of you. Now, moving towards the next two parts that we will be discussing more in the later session, in the upcoming session that we will be having on game development. We will be discussing about debugger, which is personally my favorite thing and personally all of the programmers' favorite thing about an IDE. With that, we also have REPL mode, which we'll be discussing more in the upcoming sessions. So this is just to give you a gist of Python interface of PictoBlox. So I hope that is all clear to you guys. Okay, now moving towards variables. Now variables are basically like containers. These are like boxes. So let's say this is what I have. This is a box. This box can contain some data. This box can contain something inside of it. Same way, variables are like containers. They are used to contain some information, to hold on to some information that can be gathered by the user, or that can be already pre-built or can be pre-programmed. So basically, to create a variable in PictoBlox, what you have to do is you just have to type var, or you can give any other name. Here I'm giving var. You can give name like A, B, or Vivek, whatever name that you like to give to your variable, you can give it. Now, one thing that I want to mention is this, that in Python, you don't need to mention the type of the variable that you will be declaring. So over here, I'm not going to mention it if it is a string or an integer variable type. All I need to do is give my variable name equals to 20. So now the variable named as Vivek holds value as 20. So this is the difference between variable. So if I just give one more variable, let's say as STEMpedia, and here I can give a string, International Bootcamp. So as you can see over here, this is a variable, a string variable named as STEMpedia. So variables are basically containers that holds on to the value that you will be giving them. Pooja ma'am, I will be going at a slow pace. No worries. Right. So I hope you have checked it out. I'm just giving you a basics of programming and Python programming. That's it. All right. So now I would like you to take a moment to check the things out that I have just explained. I'm giving you educators 2 minutes of time to check out variables and difference between the terminal as well as the stage. So I will just paste this code here only. This is for variables, and this is for the, sorry, terminal and stage. So now I would like you to please take a moment to check out the code. Perfect. If you have checked it out, I would like you to give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that we can move ahead. Harshgor, you can try it out. You can try the casting of variable in PictoBlox. Aram, you are right, but I want you to now focus on the variables part that we are doing. Okay, Nadia, sprites are basically characters in which we will be coding. So it's like basically over here in PictoBlox Python interface, sprites act as your coding files. This is where you will be coding. Sprites are where you will be coding the things. And once you click on run or run all button, it will be executing on the terminal or on the stage. Depends on your code. I hope my PictoBlox screen is visible, Miss Shruti.
Yes, Vivek, it's visible.
Perfect. So educators, please check out on the screen and yeah, done. Perfect. So all right, then we will be moving ahead. All right. Moving to data types in Python. So as I mentioned, we can give any data type to any variable. We don't have to specify it, just like as I showed you in the PictoBlox. Like I have not specified that this is an integer or this is a string. I am just giving a name of the variable with the equals to sign and the value that it will be holding. That's it. So data types are basically, yeah, data types are basically there that can help you to understand what different kind of values a variable can hold on. So in Python programming, we mainly have 4 data types. First is integer. Integers are basically numbers. I have already given the example over here. So this is an integer. Integers are numbers. It can be from 0 to 9 or any other digit. 0 to 9, the common digits. Then we have floating point number. Floating point number is the second type of data type, the common data type that we have in Python. So if I give you example of floating point, so I'm just giving it as f point pt. equals to 2.3. So this is example of floating point number, variables and data types. So floating point number. Then we have string, already given example of string over here. So this is a string. Moving ahead, we have Boolean. So Boolean contains only two values. It can either be true or it can be false. So over here, I can just name a variable as B and give it a value as, sorry, true. So this contains value true of Boolean data type. Boolean. So these are the data types in Python, the major 4 data types. So I request you to please try it out. So I hope it is working at your end. The sprite.say is a function of sprite, which is already inbuilt in the sprite class. So it is already there. Then you can check it out. The data types, integer, floating point number, string, and Boolean. All right. So these are the common 4 data types in Python programming. Now moving ahead, we will talk about strings and string manipulation as well. So if you check it out on your LMS, we will be going through LMS shortly. So on the LMS, we have string and string manipulation built-in functions that are there. You can check out those to get more hold on to strings in Python. So as I mentioned, strings are basically what you declare in a variable. As over here, I have given example, message equals to hello world, and I'm printing that message. Same over here, I have written down STEMpedia equals to International Bootcamp. So if I just print STEMpedia, print the variable STEMpedia, you see what will come up on the terminal over here. So you can see International Bootcamp is coming up over here on the terminal. So this is how string basically works. Once again, I'm telling you guys, please ignore the warning that is coming up. It is the version that I'm having of the PictoBlox. It's not released yet. So I'm having the test file of the PictoBlox application. So there will not be any warnings in your PictoBlox. All right. So of course, you can go ahead and check out the list, the string functions and the string manipulation built-in functions that are there in Python on the LMS. Now coming to list in Python. So lists are basically set of ordered values that are enclosed in square brackets. So basically, we have given you example of the list that are possibly that can be seen in the real life in programming, while programming. So you can see I have given 5 example of list in which L1 is list in which we have 4 integer elements. In L2, we have a list which have 2 lists of elements of string type. Then L3, list 3 is an empty list with no elements. Then L4 is a nested type of a list with different types of values. Not nested type of a list, but it is a list having different values. Nested list is basically list inside a list. So which is the 5th one, the L5. L5 is an example of nested list. So once again, if you want to check out more about the list, how you can traverse it, how you can call list 5 different ways, you can check it out on the LMS. In detail, it is mentioned over there. So you have to check it out on the LMS. So I hope till this point, everything is clear. Now just give me a thumbs up if everything is clear so that we can move ahead. Please don't worry. We will be going through the LMS very shortly. So keep up with me. We will be going to the LMS and I will be giving you a whole walkthrough that what exactly the LMS is and what it offers to all of us. I will tell you from where you can access the LMS, ma'am. Neha, ma'am. Perfect. So I'm getting a lot of thumbs up that we can move ahead now. Now, I hope all of you have gained the knowledge, enough knowledge of basics of Python programming. So now I want you to create your activity of loan interest calculator. So in this wonderful activity, what we have to do is we are just implementing the formula of simple interest. It is a simple interest calculator, loan interest calculator. Now I would like you to tell me what is the formula of simple interest in your chat box. LMS is learning management system. Revati, sir or ma'am, LMS is learning system. The online course that you got, I will be talking about it in just some time. So please be with me and tell me what is the formula of simple interest. I'm looking forward to your answers. That what is the formula of simple interest in the chat box? All of you. So simple interest, as everybody says, simple interest is equals to P into R into T divided by 100. Well, that's correct. That's correct, guys. Everyone is correct. Okay. Now moving forward, we will start the code. Now, all I want you to do is click on the file icon. I hope my screen is visible. Click on the file icon and click on new. Either if you want to save this file, you can. If not, then you can directly open a new file. All right. Now opening a new file, again, you have to go back to the Python interface. Now this is what the Python interface looks like. A fresh new file is opened on our system. So I think everybody is able to see it. Perfect. All right. Now moving forward, what we want to do is we want to first ask the users to enter three things. That is principal, rate, and time. Right? This is what we want the users to enter. The principal, rate, and time period. So now what we will be doing is basically we will be defining a function. What we will be doing, we will be defining a function. So to define a function in Python, we have to use a word or a keyword that is def. Def is used to define a function. It's a short form of define. Okay. Now we can name this function as interest calculator. We will name this function as interest calculator. All right. Once I have given the name interest calculator, I will be passing on the arguments. So now coming to what are arguments? Arguments are basically what I will be asking as my function members in that particular function. That means what exactly will be the things that I will be using in that particular function, the function members or arguments. We need three things as I mentioned. We need principal, rate, and time. So we will just put here a round bracket. Here we will enter principal, rate, and time. That these are the three things that we will be needing. If I'm right, strings can be as long. It depends on you. Mansoor sir, it totally depends on you. Okay. After writing this, what I have to do is I have to move to the next line. But here I have to write a semicolon. Semicolon defines that anything that is underneath this line, line number 2, is a part of my function. So you can see the indentation is already there. So now anything that I will like in this indentation will be a part of my function, which is named as interest calculator. Okay. Now over here, I will be defining the formula. So to calculate the loan, calculating loan and simple interest is a little different. If you remember, if we must have studied how to calculate loan. So loan calculation is basically principal plus the simple interest formula. So for this, what we will be doing is we will define a variable named as amount equals to principal plus over here, I again will be typing the simple interest formula, which is principal into rate, into time divided by 100. So this is your loan interest calculator formula. Isn't this easy? This is very easy. What we are doing is we are basically just giving the input. We are telling that this is what it will be, a colon. It won't be a semicolon. Here you have to put a colon, not a semicolon. Semicolon is this. Sorry, semicolon is this and colon is this. So there is a difference between that. We have to put colon, not semicolon. So this is what the function is all about. Now, what we have to do is we have to define these values, right? We have to take a user input because it is a calculator. Calculator takes a user input, then gives it output. Same way, we have to take user input over here. Now, to take the user input, what I will be doing is, now you have to stay focused on that particular part. I will be using a sprite function named as sprite.input function, which is a sprite function that is of the class sprite, which is already loaded in sprite variable at the top by default. I did not write it. So what I will be doing, sprite.input. Here I will be asking them enter principal. And that particular input I will be storing in the sprite or in the variable principal. So I will create a variable named as principal, and I will be storing the answer over here. So it will be it can be a floating point. If principal can be a floating point, rate can be a floating point, time can be a floating point. So I have to mention over here, it will be a float. And what exactly we will be storing? Sprite dot answer. Sorry. So we are taking the user input with the help of input function of sprite, and then we are pasting that input. We are, giving that input, storing that input in principal variable with the help of sprite.answer, with the help of answer function of sprite. So I hope till now everything is clear. I want you guys to give me a big thumbs up if it is. Yes, very nice, Kirti ma'am, that in Python we don't use semicolon. Exactly. No, we don't have to declare variables before declaring a function. Because in function, we are just telling that this is what the function members will be. All right. Thank you, Pola. I want more thumbs up, everyone. Correct. All right. It doesn't, well, just take a note on one thing, that it is case sensitive. The variable names, the Python is case sensitive. So there's a difference between capital P principal and small p principal. Okay, please hold on to this. All right. Now moving to the next part. The same way we can take input of rate and time. I will just duplicate this thing. Enter rate. Enter time. Here I will write time. Here I will write rate. So now I want you to do this. And once you are done with this, give me a big thumbs up in the chat box. We are using proper indentation. Exactly, Pradeep sir, we have to use proper indentation. Over here, as you can see, the function, the line underneath the function, which is the definition of the function, is indentated. And the rest of the code is not indentated with the function because it is not a part of the function. So I hope everyone has done this part. All right. Now what we will be doing is, after getting the input of principal, rate, and time, now we want the Toby sprite to say that loan, to say that amount that needs to be paid by the person. Okay, so for this, we will be using sprite.say function that we already used in the previous previously that we used the sprite.say function. Over here, we will just write amount is, or we can give in a dash. And now we have to call our function. Call our function. Now, just one thing that I want to ask all of you. I will check how much knowledge you have of Python programming. Now, if I just call the function and give the values of principal, rate, and time in that particular function, will this code work? Will this code give me the output that I need? No, we don't have to give parentheses. Jasmine, we can give P into R into T divided by 100 without parentheses. The float was defined, Nima ma'am, the float was defined just to take a float user input. That's it. And to store it inside the value, the particular variable. So please take a note to this. It can be capital, oh sorry. Okay. After this, now as I asked that how exactly we will be passing it on. So I want the answers. Right. Code, kids code zone. It's correct. You have written it down correctly, but I have to mention that it is a string. Now, the reason to mentioning it as a string is I cannot, pass on different types of data, like variables that are having a floating point, and the answer that I will be getting might be floating point too, but I cannot print that using the say function. I cannot make the sprite say this particular floating point number, that the floating point amount that we will be getting at the end. So to convert that floating point into a string so that sprite can say it easily, we will be using the str, the string function, in which we will pass the interest calculator function. Interest calculator. Over here, we will give principal, rate, and time. So this is what the code looks like. So I hope it is, you can see this. So this is what the whole code of the activity looks like. Exactly, Aarti ma'am. Right, you are correct. This is what the code will looks like. Perfect. Now let's test this code out. I will click on run. I'm going on full screen mode. Now it is asking me to enter principal. And you can see there is a prompt box coming up at the bottom of the stage where I will put the principal amount. So over here I can put it as 12,000. Rate let's say 12. Time will be 3. And the amount is coming out to be none. Now this is something that I want to check out by you. I want you to check this out and I want you to tell me what is the particular error in my code over here. Yeah, it depends on the function name. It depends. Return, no, we don't need to use return, Kunal. Manjula ma'am, the simple interest formula is already mentioned there. There is something missing out. Is there something missing out? Are we missing on to something? We have defined the interest calculator. We have the principal, rate, and time, but it is coming out to be none. Are the return indentation problem? No, the indentation is correct over here. No, we don't have to mention STR amount. There is no problem in that. All right, let's test it out again. You might be able to what the problem is. So sometimes when the code doesn't work, you have to check it out. There's no problem if the code is not working. It happens in everyone's case. You don't need to panic. You just need to go through the code thoroughly and check out the problem that you might be facing. So here I will be entering principal again as 12,000 at the rate of 12 times 3, and the amount is still coming out to be none. So anyone, there should be 2. Okay, Emmy, correct. Yes. So over here, we are missing out to one particular thing. That is, we have to mention for how much time we want the Toby sprite to say this. So after the round bracket, the second round bracket, which is the round bracket of the string function, we have to mention 2. 2 is to specify for 2 seconds, it has to say what the exact amount is. Now, another thing that I might be missing out, sprite.enter principal, sprite.answer. Is everything correct in other part of the code? All right. 100 is there. 100 is entered there. Now, the person who mentioned Ivan sir, you are correct. Ivan sir, the return amount is not mentioned there. Very well said. So we have to give the return of the function. So in this case, as you can see, if we are not returning any value of the function, it's going to return us none, or it shows error in the log here or any warning. So we have to make sure that we are giving out the return type. Return here will be the amount. So we have to return the amount. So right now, what I will be doing is underneath the same line, I can, in the 5th line, I will write return amount. That completes our whole code. Now, if I click on run, now it will be asking me to enter the principal amount, 12,000 or 12 lakhs. It depends on you. 12 time will be 3. This is the total amount that I need to pay. Mention that was not minus, that was this dash. Okay, if I execute it once again, Ivan sir and the rest of the educators who mentioned return is correct. We have to mention the return type of every function, whether it be null, whether it be we are returning 0 or we are returning a specific value, we have to mention that. Let's test it out again with some different values. Entering rate and the time period. So this is the total amount the user has to pay, and which is displayed on the screen for only 2 seconds, as we have mentioned here. So this is the role of 2 over here, which is telling us that how exactly for how long time period we want this particular thing to be shown on the stage. So this completes our activity. Now what you have to do is type your project name as loan interest calculator and hit on the save icon right to the right. You can save it anywhere. You can save it on your desktop or any particular folder that you will be making. So this is what we need to check, understand that when we are coding, our mind should be focused on the code only. So that is what that's the important thing, that you first need to understand what exactly we want to do. Then we have to code that particular thing and get the output. And if we are not getting the output, we have to check if we are missing out on something. So today, as I mentioned, just to check out your knowledge and your understanding level, I took out the return type, and then Ivan sir and rest of the other educators mentioned that the return has to be mentioned after the function. So correct. Yes, without to, the program works too. But there is a difference. After 2, if you remove the 2 that is mentioned over here, this particular line will be displayed on the stage forever. But 2 mentions the time period, for how long, for how much seconds you want it to be displayed on the stage. It can be 5, it can be 6, it can be 0 also. By default, it will be displayed forever. All right. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this particular activity. Let's move to the slides now. So now, moving ahead, to test your concepts and your knowledge that you have gained throughout this session, you can check out the DIY do-it-yourself project, which is thoughtfully curated to challenge your problem-solving skills and abilities to foster a deeper grasp of the programming principles that you have gained in this session 1. For session number 1, you can check out the text palindrome activity to check whether the given text string is palindrome or not. Moving forward, this is the most awaited thing that I think the educators are mostly waiting for. That is about the LMS, the Learning Management System. So you must be wondering what exactly the Learning Management System is. So buckle up. I will be taking you on the tour of the Learning Management System. So once you open the official page of the bootcamp, you have to click on register. If you are already registered, you just have to log in, as I am already logged in. So I will just go to that particular tab. After you are logged in, you will be redirected to this page. On this page, you can see the whole courses there, each and every session. But it is logged. How to access this course? To access this course, you have to click on Take This Course button. So I will click on Take This Course button. And it will be redirecting me again to this course, and I will be able to start this course. Now I have to click on Start This Course. And it will take me to session number 1. So as you can see, We have each and every session over here. It will be unlocked day by day. It won't be unlocked at one go. So every day we will be unlocking every session of that particular day. So you can see each session consists the session link. So you can join us by your LMS also. We have the attendance cum pre-survey form and feedback cum pre-survey form of each session that is there in your LMS, the online course. As I mentioned earlier, you have to fill both of these forms to secure your participation certificate. With that, you can see what you will learn in this session, the topics we will be covering. And on the left-hand side, as you can see, the particular session is expanded into different subtopics. Once you are done with one topic, you have to click on Mark as Complete. So let's click on Introduction to Python topic. Let's open that. So you can see here, we have the detailed explanation of everything that we did in today's session. So this LMS, this online learning course, will help you to grasp that knowledge and to sharpen it up to empower the young minds. So over here, we have everything for you. After you are done with the subtopic, after you are done with the topic of a particular session, you have to click on Mark Complete. Because if you don't click on Mark Complete, you won't be able to get your certificate. You have to complete the whole course. So once I click on Mark Complete, I will be redirected to the next subtopic. And you can see it is marked as completed over here. So on the next subtopics, we have variables and data types. This is how variables are declared, data types in Python, and examples. So as I mentioned, on the LMS, everything will be provided to you in a very detailed manner. Once again, when you are done with the particular subtopic, all you have to do is click on Mark Complete. Once each and every topic is marked as complete, then you will be redirected to the activity, which will be the session activity that we just did. So here the activity is loan interest calculator. The activity GIF also there for your reference with the code. So you can check out the whole code that is there. Now, what you have to do is after each and every session, you have to make a YouTube video, a public YouTube video where you will be explaining about this activity. So all you have to do is in that particular video, you have to introduce yourself, where you are from, and how exciting this bootcamp is, and then explain about the activity that you made. And then just paste the assignment title. Here it will be loan interest calculator. I'm just putting cal. Then you have to paste the video link. Make sure you are pasting your video link, not anyone else's, because we will be thoroughly checking each and every submission. So you have to submit your video only. Once you are done submitting your video, so in this case, I'm just submitting the online live session video. You don't have to do that. So please don't do that particular thing. You have to submit your video only. So once I submit the video on the assignment, I will be redirected to the DIY palindrome project. So I will once again give it as loan interest cal and paste the video link. You don't have to paste my video link. You cannot cheat, right? Okay. Then you have to click on submit. Once you submit this, you have to click on Mark Complete. Note, you can only submit once. So you have to make sure you're submitting correct link, a working link. And after that, you have to just click on Mark Complete and you will be redirected to the DIY palindrome project. Here you can check out this project, which I mentioned it's curated for your problem solving and to sharpen your skills of the programming principles that we just grasped in this particular session. After you are done checking out the DIY project, you can again click on Mark as Complete. So this will complete your session number 100%. So each topic of session number 1 is covered. Same thing you have to do each day for each and every session. Now, you must be wondering that how exactly you will be getting the prizes and the recognitions. For that, I will be showing you the criteria for badges, participation certificate, and top 10 performers. So the participation certificate will be given to all of the educators upon the completion of the online course that I just showed you. So you have to mark complete each and every session to get the online certificate, the participation certificate. With that, you have to fill the attendance and feedback form of each day. So that means each day you have to fill 2 forms, which will not take more than 2 minutes. So you have to do these 2 things to get your participation certificate. To get a badge, the badge of AI, Python, and robotics educator, you have to complete all of the assignments, all 10 assignments. That means you have to submit 10 YouTube videos and you have to score more than 60% in the final quiz. So if I just show you once again, on the LMS, we have the final quiz over here. So this final quiz, in this final quiz, you have to score more than 60%. This quiz is open.
Between Vivek, we have to wrap it up within 5 minutes, please.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So you have to take up this final quiz and you will be able to earn the badge. For the top 10 performers, you need to fulfill the criteria that I just mentioned. That means completion of the assignments, scoring above 60% in the final quiz, and the caption project has to be submitted latest by 8 September. So caption project is basically a project that you will be creating with the knowledge that you will gain in the sessions. So these are the criteria for each and every prize and recognitions. So the top 10 performers that will be selected from all around the world will be getting the STEMpedia's AI and robotics educational kits. Moving forward, now we are open to your doubts. So if you are facing any difficulties or if you have any doubts, you can directly ask us right now in the chat box. With that, please scan this QR code to fill your feedback form. As I mentioned earlier, you have to fill both the forms to get your participation certificate. You have to fill both the forms every day on each and every session to get your participation certificate. So request all of you.
Sorry to interrupt again, Vivek. I think your presentation isn't visible on the screen.
Is it visible now?
The LMS screen is visible.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, I think it is visible now.
Yes, it's visible. Thank you. Yeah.
So please ask your doubts if you have any. And if you don't have any doubts, you can directly scan the QR code to submit your feedback form. Aman Trix is asking, can I upload video without showing face? Aman, it will be highly appreciated if you show your face during the videos. But if you are a little uncomfortable or for due to some personal reason you don't want to show your face, then it is completely fine. So, ma'am, you have to just submit the video link as your assignment. So you have to create a video of the activity that we will be making in this session only. And that submission has to be made as an assignment submission over the LMS. The badge is basically the certified badge of AI and Python robotics educator. That particular badge will be as a recognition for all of the educators who are putting in extra efforts. We will be talking more about the caption project and everything in the upcoming sessions as well. So I request all of you to please fill in the feedback form. Till the time I am also discussing about the doubts that you guys are facing. Milindek, the video is basically the video you will be creating as your assignment, which you have to submit on live after the completion of the session. That is your assignment. Video that you will be making of that particular activity that we will be doing in the session. The str function is used during the function call to convert that floating point to string so that the sprite can say it with the sprite function. the say function of the sprite. I hope, Nikita, I've answered your question. All right. So if you face any difficulties, you can, of course, reach out to us in the WhatsApp and the Telegram group. It is going to be open for all of you. And I want all of you to please share your creations in the WhatsApp and Telegram group so that we can monitor your understanding and we can see how exactly you have liked the session.
I think we haven't received much entries on the post-session survey form. So I would request again to all the educators to fill in this feedback form, because this is the part of your attendance proof for us. And this is highly appreciated from our side. If you could fill both the entries in the attendance form also and in the feedback form also. So this is our procedure to proceed with the attendance of your. So please fill in the form as early as possible. The QR code is already available on your screen. Just scan it and fill in the form. I think in the comment section also we have dropped the link of the forms.
Right. So, the comment section also has the form. Even the form is there in the description box as well. I've also shared the form on each and every group, the WhatsApp group, so you can check it on that WhatsApp group also. All right. So moving ahead, you can also join the WhatsApp and the Telegram group. The link is already there in the description box as well as in the live chat box. If you face any difficulties during, after, or before the session. So
also, I would request all the teachers to please subscribe our channel on the YouTube. So this will give you all the updates which we have through our YouTube channel. So subscribe STEMpedia YouTube channel.
Right.
And yeah.
So in the upcoming session, we will be working on the game development of Python. So tomorrow, the session will be very exciting. We will be working on programming mostly. We will be covering less theoretical part. And we will be having one more expert speaker who will be joining us tomorrow to give us insights on how exactly AI is important in education. So thank you so much for tuning in for the first session of the International Educator Bootcamp. Please do not forget to mark your attendance and fill the feedback form. Both the forms are mandatory to secure your participation certificate after the closing of the bootcamp. Complete your assignments and the LMS course, the online LMS course as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Signing off, Bootcamp organization team. Thank you so much, Shruti ma'am, for your fruitful collaboration. And thank you so much, Pankaj sir and Shashi sir, to joining this bootcamp. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vivek, for enlightening us.